Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Footy Podcast. What to say? I have Aniket here with me. Welcome Aniket, first of all.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know you are smiling right now, but we just talked before coming onto this podcast, and you're pretty angry. As expected. But yeah, really, what did you think of the game?
Um, let's start with the first things. That's the lineup.
Hmm.
I was actually expecting a weak lineup today, and I really so there were some players that I expected that they will be today in the lineup. Like I expected Sterling, Jesus, and Aguero. Either of these, I think two of these three. I expected them to be in the lineup. I also expected Mendy to be in the lineup because
Was there someone that surprised you in the lineup?
I think Diaz surprised me because I didn't think that Pep would go with a back three
Yes,
because it's
yeah,
really yeah
the formation. What do you think? Why did he do that?
I I'm not sure what the formation exactly was because in some places it was like 3-3-3-1. In some places it was 4-4-2. So then again 3-4-1-2. Many different formations. So but I think that formation wise, I think it was necessary because Pep couldn't just go 4-3-3 with this lineup because we know how bad Mendy is defensively. And if it's a 4-3-3 and Mendy plays as a fullback, not a wing back, then he has to, defend against both Pulisic and uh, Reece James. And he couldn't do either of that today. So I think it was a necessary act, but back three, I didn't expect back three. I did expect that yes, Ake would come in and Laporte obviously has to play because Stones is suspended. I didn't think that Diaz would be there, but yeah, it was what it was. And yeah, Chelsea also fielded a very not very weak, but even they were weak. They had Kante, but they didn't have Thiago Silva, and then they didn't have Mason Mount.
Of course, there
And
is this insinuation that both the managers tried to, try to play poker. Basically, they did not want to reveal their hands before the main event. Many were touting it to be as dress rehearsal for the Champions League, but I don't think it was anywhere near like that because both
yeah,
of the
even
teams
even
won't be playing like that.
exactly. Even Pep said before the in the pre-match interview that it's too early the game to have any bearing in the Champions League finals. We still have 3 weeks, and a lot of things can happen in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Chelsea has to play one more game than City. They have to play a cup final, FA Cup. So players. I touch wood, but players can get injured.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I know some City fans would have been calling for Gundogan or Foden, but I did not want them to
Yeah,
be to come
exactly.
really.
It was actually a desperate measure that they did come in, and I was feeling actually bad for them because they weren't able to run. Clearly they were tired, Gundogan and Foden, both of them, but they did still produce some
So
chances.
what does that say
They
about the rest of the players? That I mean, they had to come. Like you said, you feeling sorry about for them to come. They did not. There was no plans for them to come, but you said Guardiola was forced into making them come on. So what does that say about
hmm.
the rest of the team?
I think there are a lot of things that are in play right now. Like they don't get game times, and they literally demand for game time. I know that Sterling wouldn't just sit on the sidelines and let the team play as they play. He wants to come into the team. Ferran Torres, he's a young and he's a talented prospect, but he does need to make some uh, impact in the team. And similarly for Aguero, he is playing his final days in Manchester City, and he needs to do something. And I'm pretty sure that he wants to do something big before he goes. So these
He
are
could
the
have
players who
done.
want to play
He could have done that with just one goal today. He would have, I think, equaled or like been the record holder. I think he would have equaled for the most goals
equal to, yeah,
for the most goals for one
Wayne
club.
Rooney's
Yeah,
record. He would have equaled it,
yeah.
183, 183
I don't
in
know
Premier League.
why. But I heard Michael Owen before, during the halftime, and he was saying that it was not that bad choice that he
Perfect
made.
penalty,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Perfect pen. I still think that when you are just 1-0 up, against a team that you are going to play in the Champions League final. That clearly means that these two are the best team in the
Yeah.
Europe right now.
Yeah.
So you're literally playing against a team that are at least in your level or just below your level. So you don't need to do, and a player who's played over 300 games for Manchester City, he scored more than 250 goals. You don't expect things from that like that. If honestly, if someone else would have done that, I wouldn't have been so frustrated. I'm not angry on Aguero. I can't be angry on him. He's the greatest player Man City ever had. But I'm a bit frustrated and very disappointed that he chose that. And I don't care how he tried to execute it, but even if Mendy had committed itself, the pace wasn't really, and that's what that other guy said, that where was the pace, because Mendy went down in one knee and then he got up and
Very
saved the
comfortably. I
penalty
mean,
with
I
one hand.
think he could
Easily,
have just
actually.
gone
When
back
he
home and come back and then caught the ball. It was that. I mean, really.
that we've seen some players scoring Panenka penalties before, but
Yeah.
it is with conviction, and I don't think Aguero had that conviction in scoring that Panenka because
Yeah.
he didn't have the pace. I think there was a split-second decision whether to go for a corner or just bang, or and clearly he didn't make
And
the
funnily enough,
right choice.
when there was half time, I switched to like this Serie A game between Inter Milan and Sampdoria. And just then, as I
Mm.
switched on the channel, Inter got the penalty and Lautaro Martinez stepped in. And I was
Mm.
like, when he came onto the scene, I was like, oh, I think City should buy him because he is the prototype of like, he's exactly like Aguero. Like, so if you are like to
Mm.
replace him, you get him. And he scored that penalty, and it was such a convincing penalty. And I was like, maybe City could go for him actually, in the summer, because Inter do have like Lukaku over there, but they do
Lukaku.
play with two striker up front. But there are been rumors that Aguero is also linked with Inter, so might there be a swap? I
Mm.
mean, they would. I think that would be pretty logical,
it
don't you
it
think?
it I don't think it would be a swap because Aguero is a free agent, so it doesn't matter to
Oh
Man
yeah,
City where he goes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that
but
totally.
I I think before Inter, it's Barcelona who are the heavy
Hmm.
favorites to
But even
get
if
Aguero.
Aguero goes
They,
over there, who do you think Lutaro? I mean, he has just come
I
up like from anywhere, but like in this conversation,
you
but
know,
do you
I
think?
I can see him coming to Etihad, but it would also depend on his ambition because he's at a very great place right now where he is. He's getting regular game time in Inter Milan. Inter Milan just won the Serie
Yeah, yeah,
after a decade.
yeah.
So, and Conte clearly has trust in him. He plays with two strikers, Lukaku, Inter Milan. They have had,
Hmm.
both of them have had good. So I don't think that there would be a necessity for Lautaro. Oh, yes, if Man City wins the Champions League, so it would be the team because it's like Bayern. Like after they won the Champions League last year, everyone wanted to go to Bayern, and we saw they got Upamecano so easily under
Hmm.
the rugs. You would say
And
they got Julian
Sane.
Nagelsmann like that, and Sane, yes, but they got him before the Champions League victory. So, but everyone wants to go to a team who wins the Champions League. So if Man City wins the Champions League, I think they would have a strong case to get in Martinez. But
But
in
we are
Martinez's
definitely
point of
looking.
view,
But we are definitely looking for a striker, don't you think? In the summer, I mean,
obviously,
we can't rely
obviously.
on Jesus like his use. But that depends on like this system that Pep wants to play. Does he really want to uh, change this thing that is working so well for him? But people are saying that it can't be
But
sustained.
hmm, even I agree that it can't be sustained because yes, you play false nine, and I still think that the false nine system would be the favorite lineup for Pep to go in the next season also. But it again it comes down to these games when you don't need to play your strongest lineup. So definitely you're not playing with a false nine. So you need to get a striker. Now we had Aguero all these years. Now we have Jesus. He doesn't really step up all the time, so we need someone in that. But is there a striker right now who knows that if I go to Man City, probably I won't get the game time that I would require because they play with a false nine. So is there a striker who's ready to sacrifice his minutes even
Hmm.
for a year? Because I'm pretty sure that after a year, because if results don't come from this false nine technique, then he will definitely switch
And
into
by
a striker.
results, you mean Champions League final or? next season?
Next season.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that it's the only game that now Pep would look forward to because
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
we lost
yeah.
today,
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah, sure. I mean, we like, of course. I mean, I think more than us, other teams below us wanted us to win this game. It's
so,
like, I mean,
yeah, actually, it
yeah,
was an open road for other teams also to get
yes.
into a top four if Chelsea would have lost because
There,
Leicester dropped
I
points
think there would be
yesterday.
more backlash from fans of Liverpool, Spurs, and West Ham.
Especially Liverpool because Liverpool and West Ham because Spurs and Leicester did throw away their chance. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And what
but
do you think
yeah,
about? Yeah, and what do you think about this?
I'll continue.
Yeah, what do you think about the any player? Would you think who got a rating like above 7 today? Anyone who like okay, fine, he impressed you in a way?
I don't think anyone impressed me, but I think in this game, I just want to look for players who did their job, and I think that Laporte was the only one who actually did his job. He was strong defensively. He was playing as the central defender among the back three, and he did his job. Yes, he was out of position, but he maintained that line because we saw Chelsea did score two more times, but all of them were offside, and we saw how many times Timo Werner went offside. It
Yeah.
frustrates a striker when he makes those. And Timo Werner makes excellent runs. I have seen him
Mm.
from Leipzig days, and he makes excellent runs.
Mm.
And it frustrates a striker when they make those runs, and even they get the net, but it's flagged offside. So I think Laporte was the only one who did his job today. Yes, he conceded two goals, so that would affect his rating also. But he defended well. He didn't make any errors. He headed the balls. There was a time when he went 1v1 with Timo Werner and he won the ball in the corner.
Mm.
So he was the only one. And other than that, I really don't think anyone was up to the mark today.
I
I
think
would have said Ake also, but Nathan Ake also, but Nathan Ake did really botched it up at the last 10 minutes. Other than that, he was also strong defensively. After the what's the word? After what Mendy was doing in front of him, as a left central defender, you need to be frustrated also
yeah,
that the
talking
one
about
who's
Mendy, like
failing.
you said that he can't be trusted defensively. But then what's the point of having him? I mean, he's a left back. I mean, do you think
No, he
he
came
is going
from.
to? Do you think he is going to stay for another season, or would City like to offload him?
I still think that City would keep him because I think I said to you before also that he also has a positive factor outside the pitch in the dressing room, even though he was
Hmm.
injured for a very long time. And he was never injured in this season, I think. So,
Wow.
but
So that would make him the like, most expensive cheerleader like of all time.
no, but he's young right now, and we've seen some players step up after injury. John Stones is a clear example. Anyone a year before, no one would have wanted John Stones in this team because he was so injured and he didn't have that decision making and that motivation. But we saw how good he became, and I think Mendy also needs to do something like that. And whenever a player, he's talented player, he's very good at attackingly. I still think that offensively he's very good, but it's the defense he needs to improve. He needs to make
I
some
mean, I
even
think
ironic.
yeah, yeah.
Funnily enough, even the last time we gave the league to Premier League to Liverpool, losing to Chelsea, it was Mendy who actually made a mistake. So there
Yeah,
must be
yeah.
something psychologically.
Pulisic. I think it
There must
was.
be. I
Hmm.
think there is something psychologically also in Mendy's mind that when you come across these clubs who you
Hmm.
haven't played good enough, so
Yeah,
and it was clearly shown today.
I think that's always there. I mean, that was exactly what I was
Mm.
thinking when Ziyech that scored that goal. I was thinking like definitely he is going to play in the final Champions League final, or he will come in like early if the things are not going Chelsea's way because he has scored two against us in two matches, and he just I mean he just scores against us like
Yeah, that was a good goal, and it was coming actually. To be very honest, because later or soon it was coming because we gave away the ball too many times, and it was all last ditch defending that was preventing City to not let concede. Jesus giving away the ball easily to Pulisic, just handing him over. Rodri again, that's something that is never expected from a professional player at that level. And I've seen that Rodri is a smart player actually. Some places he does do things that a good center defensive midfielder should do, but you're getting pressed upon by two players, you just don't look at referee and wait for him to blow the whistle.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's the only thing that actually went. That was the biggest mistake that, but we were eventually going to concede. I feel that because the way we were playing and the way Chelsea were attacking, wasn't long that anyone would have scored in their ranks.
Fernandinho will be leaving next season. I mean, I think they are trying to pursue him to
Yeah,
persuade him to stay.
they
Yeah, but if he leaves, if he indeed leaves, I mean, that just leaves us with one holding midfielder. I know Gundogan has played there before, but I don't think he would like to go back there. He would like play as a number eight. So the City would be definitely wanting another holding midfielder. How much trust do you have in Rodri to be the number one holding midfielder for the next year? Because he has done pretty good for us in this season. He has played, I think, most minutes in after
mm,
Edison. And so, what do you think?
I it's a very wrong time to ask me because I'm very angry at Rodri right now. So right now I won't say that I trust him, but he has been the number one central defensive midfielder for us because Fernandinho was out for a very long time and there were patches where he played Fernandinho and Rodri was there and he played. I think he did play the most minutes after Ederson.
Hmm.
So Pep knows how to make a good CDM also. That's also one thing. And Rodri has shown a lot of uh,
Yeah,
improvement in his
yeah,
game because it's his second season and he's playing in a team which relies a lot on central defensive midfielders to be smart enough because they have to defend, they drop down between defenders and then they have to create also in
hmm,
front. They are also a very big factor when it comes to building up plays,
yeah.
attacks. And Rodri has shown improvement a lot and he's also very young. He's 24, 25, so he has a lot of room for improvement. So I I think that he still will be the if Fernandinho leaves, I think he still will be the number one CDM because it's not fair to him. Just one mistake, yes, it's not a very big mistake in a very long run.
And
Yes, we lost that
I
match,
think
but
City fans would prefer him to make this one now rather than if
yes,
he.
exactly. This I was about to say this that
Hmm.
it's better to make this mistake now rather than in the Champions League
Yeah,
finals when it's going to cost us a lot more than it did today. So
but what do you
I
think? As what is your feeling? Like we have lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, and now this. What do you feel about going into the final against them?
uh, it's still mixed feelings because Pep is a type of manager who won't lose to a certain team for a very long time because he's a lot more experienced than Thomas Tuchel, and he knows he has that blueprint of success that that Thomas Tuchel is trying to crack, but he hasn't yet. But yes, it's a big blow that we lost back to back to them, and we've defeated them once, but it was under Lampard, so it
Lampard.
doesn't really matter. So it would be psychologically very big thing. But another point that I'd like to make in our favor is that we either of those games we weren't nearly near our best. We weren't
And
even remotely near our best because we were our best against PSG in the whole 180 minutes. That's what Man City likes to play like.
but I think that
And
has
we there are
more to do with the personnel on the field because I think there have been
exactly
a lot of
because
changes.
I don't think that other than one, two, or three players, there would be anyone else starting the game in the finals. That I think